So formally, welcome to our Schoology Introduction for Families. I'm Kimberly. We're going to be exploring Schoology from a parent perspective or from a family, guardian's perspective. So if you are a student and you've joined us, thank you for joining us. You're going to get a sneak peek into Schoology, but we're not necessarily going to be talking about how to make assignments or use Schoology from a student's perspective. You'll still get to see, though, kind of what it'll look like. So I'm glad you joined us. We are going to welcome Susanna Panter and Emily Bannon. They are both joining us here because they are my counterparts. They're going to be monitoring the chat so that if you have questions that come up, please know that they will do their best to answer. They're also madly entering people from the lobby, admitting them, and making sure everybody's cameras are muted. Or sorry, cameras are off and mics are muted. So let's do this. For families who like to listen to this in another language that they might prefer, I have a conversation code that I'm going to drop into the chat. And what this allows is the ability for a family or a person to get the Microsoft Translator app on their cell phone, and then you put that code in right here, and then you can listen or read this, what I'm saying, in another language. You can also open up a web browser, so if you have a second window on your device or you have another device, you can use a browser and just type in translate.it and put in the conversation code there. So here's what we're going to be doing. Before we begin, we're going to just real quick remind you to mute your mics, and that helps to kind of eliminate some of that background noise that happens sometimes. And also turn your video off. It just helps to eliminate distractions, and this is being recorded, so you may want to have your video off. We encourage you to use that chat. So if you're looking at this Teams meeting online in a browser, you will have the toolbar that will come up down here at the bottom where I'm moving my mouse. If you're in the Teams app, the program, you're going to find that toolbar up at the top. And you would just click the little speech bubble. It's going to open up a panel on the side, and you'll be able to type in questions. Also, I encourage you to use the raise hand feature. I'll try and stop periodically to get questions and call on you. And when we do, if we do have time to do that, I will, once I call on you, then you can unmute yourself and ask your question. So if you have questions about today's, which is Schoology for parents or guardians, then I encourage you to use that chat. But if you start thinking, oh my gosh, I have a question about something else that's not Schoology that just came up in my head, then please use this form. You can go to a browser and type in bit.ly/famqns for questions and suggestions. Make sure that you know that F, Q, and S are capitalized. And in the chat, Emily or Susanna will pop that link in for you so that you can just click on it if it comes up. And now let's dig into what we're going to cover. We are going to be covering how parents and students can log into Schoology, how to update your settings and set your notifications so that you can get alerted when certain things happen. We're going to talk about how parents can connect the student account to theirs. It's pretty cool because parents only need to log in once and then they can see each of their students' work and so forth, but you need to connect those accounts. We'll talk about what that's going to be like. And then we're just going to look at the navigation. What is it that Schoology is offering? So as a guardian or as a family member supporting students, what can we see? Assignments, calendar, messages, and grades, and more. So that's what we're going to be covering. Before we start in on all the details of Schoology, I want to emphasize how you say Schoology. So Schoology is actually 3 syllables. So it's like 3 claps. Schoology, 3 syllables. We've heard it said a couple ways, Schoology, but remember that's like 4 syllables, Schoology. It's not. So just remember that Schoology is pronounced Schoology. And I love that our Meeker music teachers have made this really fun Schoology song, and they've put it on YouTube to share with everyone. It's brilliant and it's very entertaining. Not going to play it for you here, but I will. I have a reminder in my notes to make sure that I put that link to that YouTube video in the chat for you to see later on after this. So what is Schoology? It's a learning management system. So we call it an LMS for short. And it's the way, it's like a hub where teachers are going to put all of the just assignments and communication and ways to do asynchronous lessons. You'll still have Teams meetings like this synchronously all together at the same time, but self-paced learning, videos, assignments, and even assessments can be done in this LMS Schoology. And parents will have sort of a window. Your account will be like a window into that learning for you. So today we're going to focus on parents, but I do want to take a minute to talk about how students are going to log in differently than parents. So students are going to log in through one of these 3 ways. I know there's a lot of words on this page, but essentially looking at the green, students can log in through Office 365. So, you know, and I'll show you that a little later when I actually demo the web browser and so forth. But if this rings a bell for students who've been getting into Teams and Office 365, you know, all the Microsoft products, you can get there through the waffle and then go down to the bottom and there'll be a Schoology button to click on there. Also, if you just type in tps.schoology.com in a browser, students will be able to log in that way. Whoop, and I went too fast. Down here, the 3rd way that students can log in is through the Schoology button on the Digital Campus website. And this is the Digital Campus website. So when you go to the Tacoma Schools website, you know, just if you're on a student device and you open up the Edge browser, it's just your default page. So at the top, if you click Digital Campus, there's the Schoology button, but that's the one for students. So parents are going to need to log in a different way because this takes them to tps.schoology.com. We're going to add a parent button soon, so that's not there at this time. And then also students can use this Office 365 and then click on that waffle that's right here and find it at the bottom. So when parents log in, they are going to just open up a web browser like Chrome, Safari. I prefer Edge, the new Microsoft Edge, which is the little one that looks like a wave that my mouse is moving on the lower taskbar. And then you would just type in Schoology.com. And then you're going to click sign up and then parent. And then you're going to have an access code. Where is this access code? You don't have it yet. We haven't sent the emails out, but you will be getting an email for each of your students with an access code. And when you're first signing up, you just need to pick one of your students. So if you have 3 kids in Tacoma Public Schools with Schoology access codes. So remember, this isn't for Tacoma Online kids. This is for the kids who are chosen, who are in the remote learning, hybrid learning option. And so you'll get an email for each of your students. You'll select one of those emails and one of those access codes and you'll put it in here. And then it's going to ask you 3 basic questions. It's going to ask you to maybe adjust your name if you want it to view differently, to put in your email, make sure that that's correct in your account, and then create a password. You have to create a password so that you can access Schoology in the future. And then you're going to click register. So it'll be simple, real quick, 3 questions. And that's after you've gone to Schoology.com and put in your student's access code. So let's take a look. But before I dive into Schoology, I want to show you our Tacoma Public Schools site. So this is just tacomaschools.org. And notice this notification that's coming up right now. It's really important that you update your contact information so that you get the emails and that you're getting all the communications. So never miss a message. Make sure that that your school and that Home Access Center has all of your correct email information so that you will get that email with the access code for Schoology. So I'm going to minimize this now.
Kimberly, this is Emily. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's wonderful.
But we have some people who said that they can't see you. So I'm going to put a little picture in the chat window that shows we want to make sure that you're not pinning Kimberly's video, because if you pin her video, you're only going to see her. Instead, you want to unpin Kimberly so that you can see her presentation. We do have 84 people in this call, which is wonderful. And I'm going to do my best to answer your questions quickly in the chat. And some of the questions that you're asking are fantastic, and Kimberly's going to get us there in just a moment. So I might say things like, great question. She's going to show that shortly. Hang tight, or I'll try to answer right away. But thank you for using the chat if you're having any technical difficulties, and I'll make sure to help. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you, Emily. All right. So again, for students, you could log in through Office 365. That's where my mouse is moving, and families will be able to log in through this digital campus spot here. Right now, this is the student button for Schoology. But parents will just type in Schoology.com into a web browser window like this. And then they will hit sign up and parent and then put in that access code. So imagine that I have just done that. Imagine my name is not Kimberly Wolf. Imagine my name is Molly Smith, and I am a guardian of a student named Sam. I have already gone to Schoology.com, put in my access code, and I have put in my registration information, created my password. Here I am. So this is my Schoology dashboard. It's kind of blank right now. So on the left, anytime you want to get back to this Schoology dashboard, you just click the logo here for Schoology, and there's nothing much here yet. This would be where all of my courses are, but I'm a parent. Imagine I'm Molly Smith, and I'm not in any courses now. Could parents have courses? Yes, they could. So eventually we might have some parent courses in there that you might want to just take to see about. I'm not even sure. So maybe we'll add some learning opportunities for parents. So I'm going to be talking about this blue bar at the top where my mouse is moving. And right now I'm on Schoology, and I've got course dashboard and recent activity and then upcoming calendar events. Well, I just don't have anything yet. There aren't any upcoming calendar events. But as we move forward, I can imagine that we talked about how you might have some courses if we started thinking about ideas and things that we could create as a district that parents might want to learn about. We could put that here. There also might be groups like the PTA groups, or maybe there'll be groups that we'll create for fundraising or sports or clubs, after school clubs, something, maybe a parent group that we could have. So you could crowdsource and work together. But right now, Molly, this parent, is not in any groups. Resources, right now, Molly doesn't have many resources at all, but those tabs are the same for students. And I'll show you what Molly's student has in their account. There's a search here. Then there's some apps that might be associated. So things like some curriculum materials that might be associated with her account. Then we've got her calendar. It just opens up to a calendar. It looks the same as what a student's calendar looks like, but of course I'll show you a student's calendar, and it's going to have assignments on it. Then we have a way to send messages. So if a parent wanted to send a message to a teacher, they could do it this way. They could also do it through their student's account, and I'll show you that. Here are the notifications. Right now she doesn't have any notifications, but if there's a message that's come from a parent, then it would show up here, or a teacher, sorry, it would show up here. Now I'm going to click on Molly's name in the right-hand corner, and there's a little caret drop down, and I can see that I've got Molly Smith green check. And then Sam Smith, who goes to Gray Middle School, is her student. And there's a place to add child. So you know how I said it didn't matter when you created your account, when you registered for your parent Schoology account, it didn't matter which student access code you used. Well, Molly used Sam's, but she also has Rebecca, another student. So she can click the plus add child and then put in that code from the other email from Rebecca, and then join, and then get Rebecca in and join her student account with the Guardian account. Now I'm going to go to profile. Right now, there's not much to put here. So as a parent, when you first register, you can adjust your email, you can make sure that all your students are here, and you can go ahead and fix that if you'd like. I'm going to skip these two and then go down to settings, because settings is where you'll want to do a couple tweaks when you first get in. So this is going to capture just your basic account information. It doesn't appear that you will be able to adjust these. I believe that your email will be on will be on record through the school, and that's how you'll get your access code, but you could probably add some alternate emails. So if you have two emails that you want to put in here, you could adjust that. And there's some other settings, you know, if you wanted to connect your personal calendar with your Schoology calendar, you could. There's some things here that you can look at and make decisions on. What I really want to tell you about are the notifications. As a parent or a guardian, somebody who's supporting my student, I would really want to make sure that certain notifications are on. And I might not be checking into Schoology every single day on, you know, on my student. I may not. But for me, it would really be helpful sometimes if every time there was maybe a grade posted right here. Whoops, nope, that one's not grades. But if you were to find maybe a course updated, or something was happening in a course that you, oh, here we go. Something was overdue in one of my students' accounts, I would want to turn that on so that I could get an email that says, hey, something's overdue. Sam's got something that wasn't turned in on time. So these notifications, I would want to look through just to make sure that the things were turned on so that I would get an email that I wanted. And notice this, turn off all notifications. If you don't want to get emails about Schoology, then you can turn it off. Also, you can get the app on your phone. Schoology makes an app, and you can connect that so that you can get notifications on your phone. But text messages is different. I probably wouldn't recommend to click to have the phone. You wouldn't want to really, I don't think, maybe you would. So that is an option. If you wanted these to go straight to a text on your phone instead of an email, that's an option if you click this here. But if you get the cell phone app, you can also just use regular notifications on your cell phone instead of the texts. Privacy settings, it's kind of good to know that, hey, who sees my profile information? So Molly's information is seen by people in the organization. Not everybody in the whole world, but people in the school district by default will be able to see your profile information. If you want to switch that to the school, remember your teacher will want to possibly see the profile information, but you could change it to no one. So you have control over this privacy for these items here, like email address. So you could turn your email address so that no one can see your email address if you choose to, and then save your changes. The recycle bin is here so that anything that you've deleted will show up here. No worries, you would be able to restore it if there was something here. So I'm going to pause and see if there's any questions that relate to because we're going to get further into it, but so far we've covered Molly's profile and settings and the basic layout for a guardian. Are there any questions about this bit?
Yes, this is Emily, and we've had some great questions in the chat. Most of them have been answered, but I just want you to be aware that when a parent says, how do I get my email address? How am I going to get an email from TPS? And so I posted a picture of the alert that is on the TPS webpage, reminding us as parents to make sure that we have our updated contact information in Home Access Center. So whatever as a parent we have listed, that's how the district will contact us. So that's a good reminder for us to check that. And the other thing, this was a great one that somebody really was paying attention to your screen and caught it. The question was, well, how do I get a TPS email address? And I said, oh, right. You are using a sample parent account that shows a TPS email, but really the email addresses that you have on file with Home Access Center will be your personal email addresses. So Kimberly's account was just a demonstration, but boy, somebody was really on top of it and very much paying attention. I love it.
Right. Thank you for those clarifications. Yes, so me pretending to be Molly Parents, that was my pretend email address. Whatever yours is, Yahoo, Gmail, whatever, that's the email whatever you have on file. So I'm showing right now the Tacoma Public Schools page. I clicked on families right here, and you can go into Hack and adjust that there, or you can call your student's school and make sure that your email is updated with them. So we are going to pop back to our pretend Molly Smith, and we're going to look at her student Sam. So as a parent, I can just kind of use this one account. I don't have to log out of my parent account and log into Sam's account. Instead, I just have a window right into Sam's account here. And so this is what Sam sees. Sam has, the splash page here is going to be some student activity. Right now, Sam hasn't done anything, so there isn't anything showing. But on the right-hand side, there's going to be recent grades, items that are overdue, and upcoming assignments. It looks like he's got an upcoming assignment in his science class that's on acid rain. He has something in his social studies class that's coming up that he needs to work on, and something here in science as well. So if you were to click on these, it would go straight into the actual assignment in the student's course. So it opened right up to a social studies course, and this is what he needs to do. And if I wanted to know more about this, I could click on any of these links. You can see when I'm hovering, and I could read this, and I could just get kind of an insight into his assignments. And you can see here that there's like a breadcrumb thing. So if I wanted to get back to all the assignments, I could click here. If I wanted to get back to the social studies section, I could click there. So now I'm still in his social studies course, in his materials, and this is the section here that I'm looking at. So what I just did is drilled right into a course. And just like it's the parent course, this menu at the top is the same. So if I wanted to see all of Sam's courses, because right now I'm on Sam, I click this and I see, oh, he's got a math class, science class, and social studies. Let me see what's going on in the science class. So I click into there, and again, it lands on the materials page. I could see updates if there were any, and those are generally messages that are sent by the teacher. I can see that we've got a welcome. I've got a folder down here that I could open up and see what's going on there. Over here are just the upcoming things just for this science class. And I also could look at this, message the teacher. So as a parent, I could say, okay, science, there's some stuff going on here. I've got to tell the teacher how amazing, how proud I am of my son, and I did have a question about this, that, or the other thing. Just like an email, I could put a topic in, message, and then send that just to the teacher with one click, super quick. I can also see Sam's calendar. taking a second to open. Here we go. And right now I'm on September. I can see that I've got that acid rain thing due, this World War I thing due here. I'm going to go to October. Okay, so I can see what's due. And if I scroll down, I can see that the orange things are the things that are due in my courses, and that I also have some school items that might show up here, and group items and personal items. So that's here. So we've got courses, the group items. So right now Sam's not in any groups, but he might join a group like an after school club like Minecraft or something, and then that would show up here and the parent would be able to see that activity. Also grades, grade report. So right now Sam's in 3 courses, and he doesn't have any grades, but if as a parent, if I wanted to see what was going on in math, I could click this. So that is a quick overview of what it looks like for a parent or guardian to go into a student account. There's lots of places to get help. The first place that makes total sense is through Schoology. So on the lower right, there's going to be a little blue S. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So it's a very big screen right now, but if you see that on the lower right-hand side where my mouse is moving, there's an S. If I click that, it's the Help Center for Schoology only, and they have some great tutorials and things. So if I click on that and I want to know something about parents, I can click and it says, oh, parent resources. Why can't I download parent access codes? Parent top 5 issues for back to school. Here's a parent guide. So I could find all sorts of help things if I wanted to know about calendars. I could type calendars in and get all sorts of help information on Schoology. So the Self-Help Center is awesome. That's the first place to go for help. Then on your student devices, there's this blue question mark. You can click that for help. The Family Support Center website, I will show that to you. And the school website, there's this little icon on every single student's, every single school's website. There's this little icon where you can click it and get an immediate connection to librarians. So the teacher librarians have an email and a phone number that you can use so that you can ask for help. This here is the helpline. So the phone number, it's very busy. Our help department's very busy right now. So going through these steps to find your own answers is really a good idea before you go ahead and use this phone number or this email. I want to pop in and show you live what it looks like when you are on our Tacoma Public Sites page. When you start at the front and you get this, again, this message on how to update your contact information. I'm going to close that. And then I'm going to go to schools, because when I go on to schools, then I can find my school. If my school is Arlington, I'm going to click on it. And then I'm going to scroll down, and every school has this icon. Look for this purple remote learning support icon right there. And you will get a special email and phone number and form that you can fill out for your building. So it's different for every building. So use that for help. And also the digital campus spot has help. There's the question mark there. And I love this. I've got to show you this one. If you click on families and then click Family Support Center, it will give you this little spot here where you can find YouTube videos that are short and sweet about Schoology. Look at this. Emily Bannon has made some amazing how-to videos that are just about Schoology, and you'll see when you scroll down, they've got that Schoology logo on the top, so it makes it really quick and easy. It makes it easy to find which ones are Schoology, because she's also got some other ones up here about things like Microsoft Word and PowerPoint. So be sure to check these out. They're really short and helpful, so helpful. So we are running out of time. Thank you for joining us. I will pop that Schoology song into the chat for you. And I would also ask if you could tell us a little bit about this presentation. If it was helpful for you, please fill out this survey. it's just a few questions, and it lets us know what we can do in the future to improve and to help you with support with technology, because we've got lots of webinars, 5 of them right now, and I'd be happy to do more. Anything I can do to help, give us a suggestion, take this survey and let us know what we can do and how you like this. Thank you so much. I hope you guys are going to love Schoology. Be looking in your email for that activation code. I'm going to stop the recording now, but I will stay so that we can see if there's any additional questions.